beautiful Benguela Island lies off the coast of Mozambique in southern Africa. You can, of course, get to this tropical paradise by road, initially via Maputo, followed by a long drive north along the coast, which is the way we always did it in the old days. But if your time is limited, you'd be better advised to fly from Johannesburg direct to Vilanculos on the Mozambican mainland. From there you can cross to the island by boat on the flat blue table of the Indian Ocean. The heart of any true wanderer is quickened by the prospect of travel. And once I decided to recapture the lost wild places of my past, I could not rest until I'd been back to the tropical islands of my childhood, the Bazaruto archipelago. It's a short 2-hour flight from Johannesburg to these beautiful islands off the Mozambican coast. And frankly, a chartered aircraft is the only way to travel. This is something I could definitely get very accustomed to. The extraordinary thing about light aircraft is how quickly you're airborne. The captain just eases forward on the throttles, and in seconds you've slipped the surly bonds of earth, and suddenly you're sailing the wind to adventure. We soon left the baked high-felt landscape behind and were winging our way out over the Indian Ocean. The restless sea has a wild and romantic history. Since before Christ, seasonal trade winds, the Kuzi and the Kashkazi monsoons, have driven traders' dhows from the Arabian Peninsula right down the east coast of Africa, past Socotra and Somaliland, past Lamu and Malindi in Kenya, and Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, past the seas of the land of the Zinj, past Zanzibar far to the south, onward to the town of Sofala in present-day Mozambique. From this port, the Arabs traded with the African interior. In exchange for gold from Great Zimbabwe, they bartered porcelain and pearls, spices from the east, and rare silks all the way from China. The islands I remembered from my childhood had stood 4 square on this trade route, and now I was to visit them again. The touchdown was a kiss on the ground of the islands I love, and here I was again at Joaquin Alves Airport. I couldn't wait to get to the lodge, but this was not entirely the Bazaruto of my memories. Mozambique is now at peace, but for long years was gripped by a bitter and cruel civil war. The end of the colonial period brought fractures and splintered political groups into prominence in a nasty struggle for power and control. The scars still show. I decided to visit the local market, the Mercado Municipale, because in any third world country, this is where you feel the pulse beat of the mood of the local people. I wasn't disappointed. The people are happy, upbeat, and industrious. The war was a terrible time, but now peace is like a port after stormy seas. The fear is gone. Nor did I face stormy seas on my quick 30-minute boat ride from Donna Anna Jetty to Marlin Lodge. The big twin motors hissed us across the flat blue Indian Ocean, and I saw again, after 30 years, my first dugong, a gentle creature that survives here in Mozambique, a fragile mammalian survivor of the old times and the origin of the myth of the mermaid. And of course, all the romance of the past is captured at the sight of a small dhow, waiting to catch the breeze and be off. Finally, I arrived to be greeted in true island style by the staff of Marlin Lodge. This haven of peace is no commercialized monster poised to gobble up tourists and spit them out. The approach is much more sincere, and the location, at the very edge of the sea, is breathtaking. There is no cynicism and no exploitation here. The lodge is run by people who are here because they love the place and the lifestyle. And the lodge is a strange combination of simplicity and great sophistication, which is how it must have been in the 20s when the islands were the favourite leisure spots of the moneyed classes. The palm-thatched buildings sit well with the landscape. The tall cocoa palms sway behind and the ivory beach sweeps past in front. And always there's the heartbeat of the sea's tides to remind you of adventure. Each chalet is separate and very private, which is why Marlin Lodge is so popular with honeymooners. And the decor is absolutely enchanting. The structure is open to catch the offshore breezes, and the reliance on wood and thatch and the soft folds of your mosquito net gives each chalet a homely warmth that makes you feel instantly at home. At Marlin Lodge, the hospitality is natural and unforced. Within minutes of my arrival, a luscious selection of snacky things appeared as if by magic. Good rich cheeses and a very welcome bottle of ice-cold vinaigrette, which I sipped on my private veranda, while I wondered how best to use my time here on this paradise of an island. And right there on my veranda was an instant reminder of past summers. My personal galvanized bath, where I could take my ease in hot water perfumed with exotic island bath oils. But now the bath was filled with pansy shells. How often in the past I'd searched the beaches when I was a child for these delicate relics of the sea, engraved by God's hand with a delicate rendition of a pansy flower.